what's the story behind Litter Picking Punks? So I started it just over a year ago, and it's sort of stemmed from a feeling of wanting to do something more. I never really liked cities growing up. When I was a kid, I grew up in a very rural area, and I loved spending a lot of time in nature. I didn't think I could really fall in love with the city, and then I moved to Liverpool. It's the perfect size of a city, and I've created such a nice community of friends up here. I've got friends up here that I want to keep around for the rest of my life. I really wanted to give something back to the city that's given me so much. I thought, what's the easiest way I can do that? Because I am quite lazy. And I thought, well, just litter picking will be a great idea because I can get outside, which I love being, and I can have that weekly FaceTime with a group of people that I like, and also meet new people as well. We can do good for the community whilst also having that experience together. So it's sort of a win-win situation. You know, some weeks there's less people than others, but every week is fun. I think the challenges Litter Picking Punks face is just the endless amount of litter that there does seem to be. Being based in a city centre as well, for that matter, it is an endless task. However, I think that doesn't really change the fact or make it more difficult, because I know that we will just continue to be there every week. I think it also faces an issue of just people being available to come, you know. I think we live in a society now that forces people to be very busy, forces people to be very distracted, so that they don't have time to focus on the issues in their community, which at the root cause are often down to the people that are keeping us busy and distracted. So, you know, it would be nice if we could get more people down. Anyone's welcome, anytime, and they don't need to bring anything. I'll provide the pickers, the bags, the bag hoops. But with the people we do have now, we've got a nice group anyways. So I'd like to think it's having a positive effect on the community, the work that we're doing in Litter Picking Punks, but the litter is like Sisyphus rolling that rock up the hill. You know, it's always going to be back to square one the next day. But we get some good interaction with people in the community, and on the Instagram page as well, there's lots of pages that also do litter picking in different parts of the city. So it's nice to interact with them and see what they're doing. And when you put that into perspective, that there are also other people with the same ideas, you know, we must be having some sort of effect and some sort of cleanup. So it's always nice to see the before and after pictures that get taken sometimes. And when you throw all the bags away at the end of the day, you do feel like you really made a difference. We've had some good reactions from passerbys. I don't think we've had any negative ones, at least none that have been directed towards us. Yeah, everyone we've had has said that they love what we're doing and we're doing a great job, and that just makes you more motivated to keep doing it then, because you realise that people do care. You know, you might see the odd person chucking their bottle on the floor every now and then, but you know, that's a small percentage. Most people actually do care about their community and how it looks, and they do want to treat it well, but like I say, they just don't have the time, because we're all so busy all of the time trying to pay the bills and keep alive in the cost of living crisis. Somebody very smart, and I appreciate them very much for the idea. However, at this moment I cannot remember who exactly it was. They gave us the idea of reusing the bottle caps, particularly the ones we found at litter picking, cleaning them and being able to turn them into badges. You stick hot glue on the back and stick badge pins on the back of them, and then you can pin them on your jacket, and you can just paint whatever design you want on them. So we had all of these bottle caps. They were spray painted black and purple, and then Simone tirelessly painted on the Southwick logo on, it must have been well over 100 bottle caps. We've still got plenty left today, so we just give them out for free at gigs. And they're just a really nice way of, one, removing litter, removing something that's just going to go in the ground anyways, and making a nice piece of art from it. Do I think I'm doing enough? Honestly, no. I think it might sound a little hypocritical, but I think I do struggle with that feeling constantly like I'm not doing enough. And ironically, it can be quite paralysing sometimes. And so I think it's a lot easier to just sort of switch off from the problems of the world. And I think that is an attitude that is adopted a lot by a lot of people, especially in this country. So it's a constant back and forth between this feeling of wanting to switch off from it all, but also realising that ignorance is what's causing so many problems to just continue. So that's why I do try my best, for example, with Litter Picking Punks, to make a small difference there, and with the messages of the band. However, again, I do just have this constant, like, little voice in my head that's saying that, like, you know, are they all just words in a song? Are we doing enough? But at the same time, I also feel like that is what drives me to do these things like Litter Picking Punks and write songs and be conscientious, continue being vegan, and continuing to stand up for all the people in my life that may be different from what society expects of them. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, that it is a constant sort of juxtaposition between the two. So there are some days where I feel like what I'm doing makes no difference at all, and the government and the CEOs all have all of the power and there's very little we can do. But then I do go out every Wednesday, pick up all that litter, have people speak to us, make the streets a bit cleaner, chuck all them bin bags away, and that makes it all feel a little bit better. So it's yeah, it's what drives me, but I don't feel like I'm doing enough, but that keeps me going.
Punk is more than just sound, and it's more than music.
Yeah.
About trying to make a change.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in the current climate, we're all dying for a change.
Yeah.